Hey y'all, it's Lena with What's Poppin USA, Small Business Support Network. Now, y'all know me, and I love to talk about branding, all about what it looks like. And guess what? I found somebody who loves branding as much as I do, y'all. And I had to go to the land down under to find her, y'all. She is actually in Australia. Miss Julie's in Australia, down under. We are a 14-hour time difference. She is 14 hours ahead of me. So if it's 7 p.m. my time, it is 9 a.m. her time. But y'all, I'm about to be in 2 time zones. Let's go ahead and talk small business. So, as promised, y'all, we have Miss Julie, and I sang from the land down under over there in Australia. So, let me ask you, because a lot of people don't really understand what exactly branding is.
Okay, so this is my favorite thing.
Yes,
Branding.
yes. They don't know what it is. They think it's maybe just
with
a logo.
With my pointed finger out. It is not a logo.
It's inclusive of, but that's not the be all and end all.
Design is my thing. I love a greatly well-designed logo as much as anything. It's like, it's fantastic. However, your branding is everything you put out in the world as your business. Everything. Where you, how you speak about yourself, or your website, your social media, like it can be, what you're like in real life. Like even how cheap or nasty your business card feels in someone's hand, that is your branding. So it's just like everything. It can be, the big brands like Coke or the people who make the potato crisps, that it's about the mouthfeel. Like that is their brand. They want to make you think that if you bite into that crunchy stuff, that's their brand. That's like if I say to you Harley Davidson without knowing anything else, like I'm not showing you any logo, I'm not showing you anything, you already have in your head.
Harley, you know what they're about, right?
You know what that's about.
I use McDonald's.
We
What
all
kid
know
doesn't scream when they see the big M or the big golden arches? They already.
Yes. All right. Yeah. Okay. So with McDonald's, with the big M, we can easily visualize that in our heads. I bet you have really a hard time visualizing the Harley Davidson logo in your head. Now, the other thing about that is with the big M in your head, the logo did not come first. The whole,
was it the cast of characters?
No, not even that. I'm just thinking about these cheap hamburgers, cheap and tasty hamburgers. That is the thing that they built the business on. They built the business first. They built the business first. It came to be synonymous with the golden arches, but the golden arches did not come first. The whole business came first. They built out a quality product that everybody loved. It was cheap. Everybody went, yeah, let's go get McDonald's. Then somebody came up with the golden arches as the logo.
Correct.
And attached it to it.
And then with
so
that,
your logo is not your brand.
Right. And it's everything that encompasses it. Everything that encompasses your brand. It's like the personality for your brand. What it looks like, absolutely. What it feels like. Right?
Yeah.
Visually, auditorily, all of it.
Yeah, that's right. So what is it about McDonald's that you are thinking about right now? You're thinking about a hamburger in your mouth. You're not actually thinking about the golden arches. You're thinking about the hamburger in your mouth, right? So that's what your brand is about. Disney, like, again, you've got an instant image in your head of what that stands for, what it's about. I rest my case.
Exactly.
It's not a logo.
Right. It's an experience.
It is.
Right.
It's everything. Yeah. It's there was I mean, who was it? Jeff Bezos came up with a quote about your brand is everything that people say about you when you're not in the room. So that's like, what do you stand for? What qualities do you want to project? What is your personality? What is what are your audience aiming for? What do they want out of you? Like, what is the feeling that they aspire to? That's what your brand is. In terms of the hierarchy of what when people perceive a brand, the first thing to do, like the first thing we really focus on most of all as humans,
Right.
is
Mhm.
color, and then next,
Emotion, right?
yeah,
Because of color
emotion, and
evokes
because
emotion.
yes, and two colors together, like they're light waves, just like sound waves. So just like music, we put two notes together and they harmonize or not.
Correct.
They might, yeah, okay. The same thing with
Correct.
colors. So it actually does create a mood. It does create a whole vibe. But beyond all your visuals in your brand, that
Right.
has to be supported with the way you speak
Correct.
and the way you
Correct.
deliver your product. The quality of your
Correct.
product has to match. It all has to match. You can't,
People
you
can
can't.
spot a phony. People
Oh,
can spot a phony
absolutely.
real
That's
quick.
right. And this is like, especially with people who are solopreneurs, it's great. It's actually best if you can be as real as possible. Like, I don't wear makeup. I'm not fancy. I live on a farm. I include all of that on my branding. Like,
Right.
nature is a really important thing for me. So you can see
Right.
that throughout all of the stuff, and I love
Correct.
that the truth that's in that nature. That's with nature, they do their own thing to attract their own tribe. There's
Right.
just it's you
A
don't
sort
have
of
to, and the
harmony
more yeah, and the more truthful you are to yourself, the more people will vibe with you
will
because you're
gravitate to you.
you.
That's true.
Will
That's
gravitate
true.
with you. Yeah, and like if I had went and got a photo shoot that was all really slick with me with my heaps of
People
makeup
would
and high
say,
heels.
who the hell is that? That's not Julie. That's not the
Yeah,
Julie I
yeah.
know.
Oh well, I used to wear lots of makeup and high
Right.
heels
But
and
right
stuff,
now, in your
but not
current
no, it's
state,
not
that's
me at
not your
all.
thing.
But if I did that and then they get on a call with me and I'm like this, they'll go, is that
You
the
don't
same person?
you
And
don't
even, I
match.
mean, this is even a thing with, if you have old photos of yourself. If
Right.
you had a photo of me from 10 years ago on the website and my hair's different and I look a whole lot, I don't have as many wrinkles or,
Right.
whatever,
I'm
people
hiding.
will just go,
Look.
oh, is it? Are you the same person?
Right.
Like, this is about fulfilling your brand promise. It's actually about matching your brand promise to how you deliver, how you turn up,
And you know
yeah,
what?
how you
Let me
get,
say that it's even more imperative to be authentic when you are a service-oriented business because you're more selling yourself,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And if you're up
Mm,
there being a big old phony, sappy sweet, and then you turn around and you're like, "Wah, wah, wah, wah," or you're sappy sweet, and then people meet you in person and they're like, whoa, this is not the same person that
yeah,
I encountered. Something's not right here, or,
yeah.
so just like
Mm.
when we all found out that Milli Vanilli was lip syncing. You know what I mean? We all like, oh my God, what in the world? Right? It was like a big up. It's the
uh,
same thing when you find out somebody's a phony.
that's right. I know exactly. Yeah.
So when a small business or a business, right? I say emerging, growing, upscaling business comes to you and they say, Julie, I need help. I want to rebrand. My stuff doesn't look so hot, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you take them on, what is one of the first things that you work through with them?
What their audience is aspiring to. What does their audience want to feel after they work with them? That's
Mm.
really one of the key things, I think.
So you start
Because
backwards almost,
yeah, like it's
almost in
not
the
about me.
reverse.
Yeah, I'm a service business. So my business is not about me. My business is about helping other people get where they want to go. So it's
Right.
audience first. Audience first. So for them to get where they want to go, if I'm helping, I mean, this is a bit meta. So if I'm helping my client attract their audience, I
Right.
start with their audience. What is their
Mm.
audience aspiring to?
Looking for.
How
Mm.
is what does your audience want to feel after they work with you?
Oh,
Because I find that I think that's the hardest question too, because I think
that is
most
kind
people
of
have a
hard.
fair idea. Most people have a fair idea of their own personality and what
Right.
their best qualities are, right? So that's kind of
Right.
the easy question. And yes, that absolutely comes into it. But first and foremost, it's about what is your audience aspiring to? What do they want to feel after they work with you? Like, so if they want to feel, because I work with a lot of people in the health wellness, people who are
Ah,
a little bit woo. So
right.
there is about,
Very
their
personal.
audience. Yeah, so their audience want to feel balanced or calm, or they want to feel nurtured. All of those sorts of
Nurtured,
qualities. Yeah, all of those sorts of
nurtured,
qualities. So
heard,
that's what,
understood. Good.
yeah,
It's like the good bedside manner
yeah,
translated through their brand, through their branding,
yeah,
right?
yes,
Bedside
yes.
manner.
And this is exactly the thing. I mean, I do call myself a brand translator. It's about a trans
I love that. A brand
because
translator. That is amazing. I
yeah,
love that.
because it's a translation job. Design is purposeful. At the end of the day, design is fundamentally what's that word?
Unequivocally, unequivocally.
Thank you. That's the one. It's yeah, it's a translation job. If
Mhm.
if uh, I need to create a brand that feels balanced, balance is a translate that to visuals. Balanced, of course, it's
Right.
symmetrical, or it's even and calm. There's nothing. All of those words are
Nothing
aesthetic
out of
words.
pay,
They're really
nothing out of
easy.
place, but that's where your fine arts background comes into play. I always personally talk about negative space.
Yes. Yeah.
And people
Yeah.
are like, "Well, what's negative space?" I'm like, "It's the space around and the
Mm,
path that your eye takes when it looks at something. Is it calm? We read from left to right. If things are all jumbled all
absolutely.
over the
Yeah,
place,
from top to bottom.
people get
That's right.
frazzled, right? So,
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Yeah. So like it's definitely just a translation job, and I'm pretty good at translating.
I love that. What do you find is usually the biggest challenge or hurdle for the businesses that come to work with you? What is their biggest hurdle in making the transition? Do they fight sometimes? Well, I really like that dot, or I really don't want to change that
Yeah,
dot.
well, I
You know,
do.
we like what we like and we get comfortable real easily, as humans. So
Yeah.
we don't like change.
That's
So
interesting. Yeah, after a lot of clients, yes, there are still people who, oh my God, sometimes you just go, why?
it's such a
Uh,
pushback, right? Yeah. Yeah.
oh, look, I recently worked with one who we were going really well. We got through all the mood boards, creating how the whole brand feel was going to be, and get to the end of it, which is doing the logo. I came up with a really lovely one. She's going, oh, tweak it this way, tweak it that way. And that was all
Right.
fine. Did it. She goes, no, scrap that. Let's do this. And I've gone, what? Where did that come from? And I've just gone, oh, like, okay, whatever.
Right.
It's just sometimes you just go, you've got to let it go. Like you've
So
people.
do
Look,
you
I see my job as a guide, but at the
right
end of the day, it's their it's their
if you
brand.
really want neon green, right? I don't
Yeah,
suggest it, but if you're hell bent on neon green, then I got to
yeah.
incorporate it some way into your brand, right?
Yeah, and most of the time, like if that kind of comes in early, I can work with it. That's fine. It's their personality. They need to, and at every step of the way, I see, as as I told you, like I'm a teacher, so I do educate people along the way as to why things work because it's specific. Like there is a absolute connection between your visuals and the brand feel. Okay, so I
Correct.
explain why things are important all the way
Right.
along. But if they choose to ignore it, if they choose to sidestep that, well, that's their choice, and I've done my bit. You
Right.
know, it,
Right.
yeah, it's my clients. I mean, as I said, I'm just a guide. I do my best to guide them, and if they
Right.
want to be silly and do something that they think,
If they want to deviate and go somewhere else.
I, I do. I get quite adamant and say, look, that's really not going to work because of this reason, this reason, and this reason.
Right.
I
Right.
mean, I
Right.
do. I tell them, I'm straight up with them. I say, look, I'm the one with the design experience. I say this, and this, and this. This is why it won't work. But if you're really
Right.
dead set on
Well, you know what
that,
I throw for the color scheme. I always and the way the font, reads is I always talk about, well, let's talk about, I don't know what it's called there, but it's ADA compliance. It's the Americans with Disabilities Act, where the websites and so have to read a certain format in order for sight impaired people to
yep,
actually
yep,
be able to,
yep.
so I'll just be like, so that neon green isn't easy to read. Like I'll just, they're not going to be able to read it, honey. We got to make it easy to read. So
Yeah.
I use
Mm.
everything. You can use that one. I use everything
Oh,
I
thank
can,
you. I
honey.
will. I will. I hadn't actually thought about that, but yeah, I might use that one too. That's a good trick. Oh my god. Sometimes, yeah, we've all had nightmare clients. We already have, but most of my clients are pretty good, and it's something like some of them are spectacular. Some of my clients I adore. I adore my clients.
Yes. Do you
Yeah,
find that you collect them? You know what I mean? Once you've worked with somebody, you kind of, I mean, I hate to say that, but you kind of like, they become part of your entourage, part of your tribe,
absolutely. I've got some long-term clients that I just absolutely adore.
Right. Just you're
They're so fun, and I love working with them. Yeah, and some of them, one pops in fairly regularly, and yeah, she's just fantastic. And another one, she'll go away and do her own thing for like. She's got a very strong business, but like I
mhm,
said, she's really busy. She travels the world a lot, but she'll pop in every 6 months or something, and she'll want something done. Whereas, so yeah, hmm,
lovely.
yeah. So I've got
Lovely.
to,
I
yeah.
gotta
So yes,
ask you, how do you, because you said you've got pretty much still younger children, and I do too. I've one child left in the house. He is turning 17, so he's almost out. He's got 1 year left of high school, and then
hmm
um, but how do you, as a mama, how have you found balancing your your work, life, I
it's
mean,
really a
life
juggle.
life sometimes?
It's a juggle, and it's interesting hitting menopause, like that whole, when you start going into perimenopause, and your own hormones are all over the place, and you're dealing with teenagers whose hormones are all over the place, and oh my god, it was like, my daughter is living away from home at the moment. She's in Sydney,
Mhm.
um, but my twins are still at home, and it's just, I guess it's, yes, like now you get to this stage of the game, yes, menopause, you just feel like everything's been stripped away. No more bullshit. And
That's what I'm saying. My BS tolerance level is like, I
yeah,
don't.
yeah. But then you've got the twin, like they've both got apprenticeships. This is great, like they're both working full time, and one's a welder and one's a diesel mechanic. So that's fantastic. Really productive.
Oh, wow.
I'm so proud of them for doing that.
Fantastic.
But by the same token, this whole one of them said to me last night, this whole expectation that things are just going to happen, like the washing gets done and the food gets put on the table and
I'm
I don't
sorry.
have to pay anything.
You're old enough to be like, what, Jeannie, didn't she like blink it for it to get done?
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not the way it works, dude. I'm so tired of washing jeans that are like inside out, like one leg. I'm like, dude, mom works hard. You may not think what I do is work, but mom works hard, right? And mom doesn't want, why are you piling the extra on mom?
Oh, it's it's just this selfishness. They don't see what actually is being facilitated for them. They don't see that because diesel mechanic
Do
gets
they
filthy
live at home with
every
you?
day.
Do
Yeah,
they
they
live
live
at
at
home with
home
you?
with it. Yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah.
tell you a trick. Tell me your story, and then I'm going to tell you how I fixed my family.
So it's just like you got to do washing every day because like everything's filthy. So you got to wash it every day, and to do that, it's the middle of winter, so you got to stick through the dryer as well. So like it's just like this constant. As soon as they get home, you got to get their clothes and do the whole thing. Then you
It's
got to cook for dinner
constantly
and feed the dog. It's just like all the
a
time you just go,
right,
go, 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 go,
right.
and they just don't. They don't see it. They don't want to pay for anything. They don't want to contribute anything. It's really hard. They're really
So,
selfish.
you're very selfish. So, just a side note, I have been home off of my big girl job from the IRS since 2012. So, it's been some time now. And so, when I first stopped working, I'm home. Sure, I got nothing else to do. Yay. As I got older and I wisened up, right? And I'm like, this is some bullshit, right? Why am I doing everything? And so really what it happened really when I hit that 49, 50-year-old mark, I just couldn't take it anymore. With me not working outside of the house, but I work inside of the house a lot, right? And as women, we are expected to work like we don't have an outside job,
Oh,
and we're expected to do our outside job like we don't have a home. So
yeah.
we have dual expectation coming and
Mm,
going, right? We're damned if we do, damned
mhm.
if we don't.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm doing entirely too much for these spoiled ass Mickey Fickies. So what I did was I wrote a list. I literally made a list, Julie, on notebook paper, lined paper, of everything I do in the house. Everything from buying your underwear to washing your clothes, putting them in the dryer, washing the dishes, putting them away. Just I made a list of every single thing that I do. And then I gave each person a different colored highlighter. And I said, each of you take about 10 jobs off of my list. Highlight the ones that you want. I made them each a copy of the list. I got the master list, and they've got their list with the highlighted things, and that's what they're responsible for. So now, girl, when that recycle is building up and it's giving me anxiety because it's overflowing, I kick that motherfucker right across the kitchen. You know why? Because it's not my job. Miss Julie, now if anybody wants to go ahead and peruse that lovely website of yours, and of course take advantage of your services, because you go really in depth with your branding kit. Y'all, you can even go online and see the way she presents and walks through an actual client case. and then book a consult with her, Julie, how can they get in touch with you down under?
The best way is just to go to my website, brandywork.com. There's plenty of little buttons there that say book a call with me. You can just book a 15-minute call and have a chat. I would love to hear about your branding, where you are in your branding journey. And even if you decide not to work with me, I can always point you in the right direction. I'm an open book. I'm very happy to just give advice if we decide we're not a good fit. So yeah, but there's a bunch of free resources on my blog. I've got a great, if you want to go and have a look at and figure out where your branding shortfalls are in your own brand, I've got a full blog that's called The Ultimate Guide to Branding Excellence. So go and have a look at that.
Is that on the website? It's on brandywork.com?
Brandywork.com is one of my blog posts, and it's called The Ultimate Guide. Go and have a look at it. You can download it as a PDF as well, and you can.
I love it, and you're also on Facebook, Julie. Also, right?
I am. Yes, Brandywork by Julie. So that's me. You'll find me.
Just in case some folks are Facebookers. You know what I mean? They're all day scrolling and clicking.
That's me. I'm on Facebook all the time. Guilty as charged.
So we'll give that option. We'll give you that option if you want to go check her out. Brandywork by Julie. You can check her out. Julie, it has been an absolute pleasure. I hope we didn't get you up too early with the chickens and the cows on the farm.
That's all good. It's actually about almost 10 o'clock in the morning here. So that's quite civilized.
Quite. It's a civilized hour.
It is quite civilized.
Yes, ma'am.
All good. Thank you.
It has been a pleasure chatting with you, Julie. I appreciate you getting up and chatting with me this evening, your morning, your Thursday, my Wednesday. Y'all, please go ahead and check out Miss Julie. Show her some love on Facebook. Make sure you follow and like her Brandywork by Julie Facebook page and check her out at brandywork.com. And I will go ahead and put your information in the details at all as well.
Thank you so much. It's been wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Until next time, Miss Julie, we'll see you soon.